Hey guys, I'm Nathan from Arms and Armor. Today I want to show you a custom sword we just recently made. We've been really busy recently, so we haven't been making many videos, but this thing turned out pretty cool. So I wanted to show it to y'all. Stay tuned. So this is a rapier or town sword. Which the main distinction is that this thing isn't as long as many rapiers. It's a little closer to a traditional side sword length. Clearly, it's a one-handed sword with a complex hilt. This hilt form is really indicative of the early 16th century, so between even conceivably something like 1490 up through 1550. And some of the characteristics of this hilt that let you know it's from that time period are these two tongues that extend here as an outer guard, right? We tend to see a little later the development of rings more commonly, but these tongues were a relatively early form of protection for the hand. So these would be something like AVB Norman's type 16 or type 20 perhaps. This differs from a type 16 in that a type 16 would usually have a forward quillion arm too. Instead, this one's quillion arm became the sweep. On the inner guard, we have a Norman type 2 inner guard, which is a very simple staple or stirrup here just inside the blade that is about a half an inch out from the blade. Later rapiers have much more complex inner guards to protect the inside of the hand, but this one, right, you can see that it gives some protection for a blade coming down the inside of this sword, and it protects the hand. And one of the nice benefits of this inner guard is that this sword can be worn very close to the hip, right? So it doesn't stick out when it's being worn as much. This is one of the reasons we decided to call this a town sword as well, because it'd be very easy to wear about town, right? With the slightly shorter blade and the narrow inner guard. Now this one has really nice wire wrap. So this is 4 strands of wire, 2 of them twisted together and 2 of them laying flat, which is, you know, highly characteristic of this kind of Italian sword. Pear-shaped pommel with a peening nut on the end of it. You can see a relatively decorated quillion block here with just some simple file work. Now the arms and the guard itself have some cool chisel work in them that my business partner Chris Poor did, ending with a nice little twisted finial end on there. See the detail work on all of these arms that creates, you know, this really cool motif. This period of decoration, sometimes I think of it as like a fork sword. It kind of reminds me of formal flatware. And it's actually because a lot of formal flatware harkens back to this period in the Renaissance, rather than swords being designed to look like forks. A lot of forks look like swords. So anyhow, this thing's pretty cool. Clearly, it's been blued. This one we did with a heat bluing with beeswax process, which I think gives it a pretty cool, slightly modeled, really historical kind of look. And it points beautifully. It's a really nice, handy little town sword. So it's just something for you to look at here, something pretty. If you want something like it, drop us an email. We'll give you a quote. Thank you. Bye-bye.